Hey,
Ram, and hey guys.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
John and Aram.
Thanks for having
I know.
and John here.
I know, John. We met. I mean, don't you remember your brother from the mean streets of Forest Hills?
You know, I love Forest Hills. I've always wanted to live there, but nobody would let me move.
We talked about it a few months back, and I was joking. You asked me where we were both discovered we were both from Queens, and I said I was from the mean streets of Forest Hills, and it made I got a good laugh. That's all.
Yeah, you got to go. Forest Hills was actually the upscale part of Queens. I was in Jackson Heights.
Wait. I saw a piece of this interview, and he talked about walking to the bus stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what a good memory.
Wow, John.
He is very talented in so many ways, and one of them is his memory.
That is that. I even forgot that.
No, I look. I knew. I'm sorry that John doesn't remember anything, but at least I do. At least one of us does.
Well,
I'm too busy to remember who anybody.
I don't. I
don't even know who I am.
I know. I see you everywhere these days. So so let's talk about. I don't know. I guess you guys are doing a lot of promotion. Aram, really nice to meet you too.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure. I watched the first couple of episodes that I was shared with me of the Green Veil. So
we're allowed to, yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
You were allowed to see.
That I was right. Allowed. Exactly. How many more episodes are there going to be? Like
there's eight total episodes.
Okay, but they're calling it an anthology. That confused me. So let's get a little clarity. So at least I understand it.
You're easily confused, and I can understand why. Because there's a lot of information here. An anthology because this is a set for this season, and then future seasons will tackle a different
like Fargo. I got
topic. Yeah, like
right.
Fargo, right. So it's still a season. It's not like Black Mirror, and then it's just one episode. It's one season, but if there's a second season, it would be a completely different storyline.
I understand. Oh, okay, very cool. And it's also kind of a hybrid of different genres, we should say too. It's kind of right. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, totally. No, I was interested in what you were gonna classify it as.
Well, it's a musical. No, I shouldn't.
Yeah.
John, your voice has really improved.
Thank you. I mean, I've always had a good voice. I just couldn't hear pitch or melody, but
yeah. Well, really, those aren't that important if you're a singer.
No, not really.
Not with singing, no.
Not priority.
Overrated pitch and all that.
I just want to also get out of the way that the anthology series is called The Green Veil. Season 1, the first 2 episodes are going to be are they showing just the first 2 also at Tribeca? That would make sense, right?
Yeah, the first 2 at Tribeca, that's right.
Which is June 15th, Monday and Tuesday, but that's already sold out, but Thursday's open. We added a third screening.
Yeah.
Wow, great. Are you guys going to be at the screenings?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
You're not?
No,
you're a city boy.
My daughter's graduating this weekend, and then I'm shooting in Greece with Jamie Foxx and Bobby De Niro. I'm a name dropper, so I'm going to keep and Scott Eastwood. And
I have faith you're going to skip your daughter's graduation for the Monday screening. I believe it's
well, if I value my marriage and my daughter, I don't think I would.
Don't put me in the middle of that, but I think you're going to show up. I feel it.
Well, yeah. And so your daughter's.
He doesn't want to
that again.
The show's that good.
He doesn't want to get involved. He doesn't want to get.
He's going to skip his daughter's graduation.
No, I love the series, but I don't know if I love it that much. I mean, I love it.
Tell us how much you love it.
I think it's an important piece of storytelling. I mean, it's based on true events. The U.S. government used to take Native American children from their homes and put them on these boarding schools, set them up for adoption, especially in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, put them up for adoption so that they would assimilate, but it was basically so they would never return to the reservation and they could take over the land because it wouldn't be passed down anymore. And
so it was a land grab.
Yes.
Ultimately. Wow.
Well, and also assimilation just in general. I mean, they would use any excuse to basically pull children out of their homes to try to assimilate them into white culture and adopt them into wealthy white families to try to erase their native culture from them.
Right.
So it was sort of twofold, the land, and then it was also that assimilation.
Well, thankfully, we're a long way from that type of thinking. Thank God. You know?
Right. Yeah, so it was decades ago, just the 70s.
That was just a few, yeah.
So okay, so people should know that at least on Thursday, June 16th, at Sinopolis Theater in
That's right, 6 p.m. in
Chelsea at 6 p.m. Yeah, they can still see it. So I want to make sure people know that right away. And you guys, the project creators, Aram and Ram, or did you grow up in New York?
I grew up in LA, actually.
Okay.
And then I migrated to
Don't be
Chicago.
embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed, right,
From
John?
LA. No, John's just looking at me in a way that makes me very uncomfortable. Which, by the way, is our relationship. That happened on set. He would look at me and I would, run away. No, I grew up in LA and then moved to Chicago and then ended up in New York. So I've been in New York about 10 years now, 10 or 11.
He's a brilliant young filmmaker. I mean, he wrote it, directed, produced it. He did everything and edited as well.
Really?
Yeah, as well. His cooking's not good.
So if you're a distributor out there, right? Because is it still looking for distribution?
Well, this is the first time this has ever been done. It's never been done with a TV series. It used to be done with independent films back in the day, kind of like a negative pickup, where you raise the funds yourself independently, right, and film it, and then you go to a film festival and you go to market. So he's done that with a TV series. No one's ever done that before.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that hadn't been done before, because I assumed that's why you're having it at the, why have, it's true. Often you'll go, these are the first couple of episodes of, a Barry for the next season.
Right. But it's already, that's already bought and sold. This is a passion project of ours and a powerful piece that, might not have gotten made through the system, you know what I mean? Because it's about Native Americans, it's about oppression, and everybody wants to be on that bandwagon, but they never greenlight these projects.
And this only got made because of John, and because he was able to champion this in that way, and we crafted this role that it really felt like John had never played before, and I mean, I feel like there's this trust factor between us, just because we've worked together multiple times, so it felt like if we were going to go to battle and really take risks. No matter what was going to happen, whether it was independent, whether it had been picked up, we just felt like the process was going to allow us an opportunity to develop something creatively that neither one of us had done before.
And brilliantly executed. I mean, I might add, this kid is incredibly gifted. I mean, as a director, as a writer, producer. I mean, you saw the 2 episodes. I mean, they're riveting.
They are. And I just hope that somebody does. I want to make sure I see the other 6. Now I'm kind of committed to it. I have to see how things turn out. And the cast, John Ortiz, one of my favorite guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. And he's great. And
I've been wanting him on the podcast for a long time.
His role expands dramatically in the next, few episodes. Unfortunately, we're only showing 2, but we expand that.
Irene Bedard, is that how you say her name?
Yeah, the original Pocahontas, who's one of the, sort of, she played Pocahontas. She's a staple of the industry, and also is an advocate, a Native American advocate nationally, and has been doing a lot of work and has been really helpful for us.
And she plays Elizabeth Warren, I think, coming up in a biopic.
a little jab at that was mean. That was kind of mean. The series was sanctioned by the Mohegan tribe.
And
this is amazing.
Yeah, we worked with the medicine woman from the Mohegan tribe and collaborated with her on story, just purely because this takes place in the region where the Mohegan tribe is based in Connecticut. And, and they were sort of the center point of the Native storyline. Obviously, the overall narrative is about oppression, repression in the 50s, and it's a family drama, veiled in sci-fi, essentially, right? It's these alien invasions that happened or didn't happen, and centers around John's character, who's an FBI agent who's doing nefarious things that we don't really understand, and his wife, who's bored, tries to uncover the whole
thing. The oppression wasn't just with Latin and Black people and Native Americans. It was also within white culture, within families, and the sexism of the time. People seemed happy, but were they?
Right, exactly. Right. Well, we see some of her solutions and stuff to kind of
right.
And then her growing intensity or curiosity around his work, and kind of it's a beautiful kind of rhythm to it. That's not the right word, but it's like the way it builds.
Yeah, yeah.
Well
And
done,
I feel like
you know.
that's a testament also to the fact that, when John crafted this character, I mean, he was so in this world. I mean, every take was different and unique and pushed the envelope in a different way. And the things that he was doing were so transformative.
Oh,
As a director, watching that on a monitor, I mean, we were all in a bubble. It was COVID. We were cooped up and,
Yeah.
oppressed in our own way.
Right,
And to
right.
watch John play this role, it was like, it was an epiphany. I mean, I've never seen him do anything like that. And it was just, it was the most unbelievable experience.
It was
of my
really
life.
exciting because my character is this self-hating Latin man,
right.
trying to pass for white, gets the perfect white wife and adopts a white child and looks like
Yeah.
the perfect American family sort
Picket
of.
fence. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And he's the FBI guy and he's going around doing these nefarious things like a capo in a way, I mean, like doing things to his own people, basically, because we Latin people are mostly Native Americans. So, our DNA is so linked and so is our history.
And the trauma that John brought to this character that was so immediate from his past was like, I mean, the veiled trauma from his childhood. And there were just these incredible decisions as an actor that you make only if you really have the experience to be able to play with that. And it was incredible to watch him, do those things that were so minute and so specific and subtle, but you could link them back to something very specific in his childhood. And it was incredible.
Right. John, is it more of a, I mean, the guy is complicated. I don't even know after watching 2 episodes of, I'm sure he's unlikable. I mean, he doesn't,
right.
Like you say, he sort of just wants to assimilate like 150%. So he's really committed to assimilation. So you kind of understand that about him. And so you can understand that probably he has a lot of internal conflict going on because we kind of figure that out.
Yeah,
but he's not really a very good guy. I mean,
no, he's not. He's like an anti-hero, he's a protagonist, but we're not supposed to really like him. He's kind of a despicable. I mean, we want to understand him.
Yes.
You rarely get a chance to play a character like this where it's an anti-hero, which is the kind of characters I prefer, really complex, where my job is to make sure you understand him, and Aram's job is to make sure you understand him. You don't have to like him. That's where the courage of an artist comes. Not always wanting to be liked or lovable, or you have to have that courage to be able to do that.
And that's the arc of this show, right? That he ultimately, he's this very put together, 50s father who's a pillar of his community.
Unravel.
We sort of, we unravel him over the course of 8 episodes. Right. And the challenge, and I can't overstate this enough, is that, we block shot this. So we shot 300 pages in 5 weeks. John was shooting 5 dinner scenes at once. So he would shoot a dinner scene where he was a put together father, praying over his meal. We would cut. 3 minutes later, we would shoot a scene where he was drunk. His whole family had abandoned him. And I don't want to give too much away, but things were happening. And then he would go back to a different scene. And without missing a beat, it's like he was tracking those. It was like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah, but I had to prepare hard. I mean, it doesn't just happen. No, there was a lot of serious preparation, months of, rehearsals, going over lines, just trying to mapping out that character arc.
Sorry to interrupt. We have time for one more question.
Oh, sure. Okay, this is going to be a very, very, very long question. It's called the Green. Just to remind people, it's called the Green Veil. It's going to be at the Tribeca Film Festival, which is started yesterday, and it's there's still tickets for the screening on Thursday, June 16th at 6 p.m. in Chelsea at the Sinopolis Theater. Philip Glass provided. Did he provide like new music for this?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, then I can leave the question in.
Themed it.
He fell in love with the script, and
read the script,
and then he saw the first 2 episodes and fell in love with it, and he did the music, and Jack White.
And we also have Jack White.
Jack White.
Who did
That's right, baby.
He did the credits.
They love collaborating, Jack and Philip.
What was that?
Jack and Philip, they love collaborating. It's the final.
You wouldn't think, but that got it over the line. So whatever does it.
And when did you shoot it? Where did you shoot it? I squeezed in one more quick question because I live in the Hudson Valley, and I think I saw something about that.
That's right.
It takes place in Connecticut, but
it's based in Connecticut. So we shot, for tax credit purposes. New York's very incentivized. We ended up shooting upstate near where John spends a lot of time, Rhinebeck area.
That's where I live. Yeah.
Woodstock. Yeah. So we
beautiful.
We were all
John,
around.
we're back together in the same neighborhood again. So
yeah, crazy.
or down the block. But you probably now this time live in a nicer place than I do, so things balanced out.
Well, now it's blowing up. I mean, the whole area.
Oh
up
my
there
God,
is
COVID just sent everybody, there's
Yeah.
the largest Brooklyn area
Yeah.
code outside of Brooklyn. Is
better
upstate.
restaurants than in Manhattan now suddenly.
Oh,
over the
yeah.
last 6 months.
Right. Well, thank you guys very much, and thank you to the team for helping putting this together. My fingers are crossed, although I feel like you guys, I think this series will speak for itself. It's called The Green Veil. Almost written, directed, produced, blah blah, by Aram Rappaport, acted, and John, you're producer on it too, right?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. There you are, producer, co-produced by Aram and John. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
so
My
much.
pleasure.
We really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you. We'll do
Thanks,
it again, Aram, too. Right.
Invite John back.
John,
Maybe
you're-
we won't remember this convo the next time.
I
To
hope
his
I'm
defense, he-
that I can't remember anything. Yeah.
Probably does thousands of these to his defense, right?
Thank-
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Finally, someone understands.